Good morning, boys and girls. It's good to be with you today again. Remember last Sunday we talked about David? He was anointed as the king to be, and he would listen to God. Well, years would pass before he would become the king. He was still a boy, but he was a boy who trusted in God. Now one day, the people of Israel went to war against another people called the Philistines. And the Philistines had this giant who was their mighty warrior. He was over 10 feet tall, boys and girls. If you look at the tallest basketball player that plays, he's a little over 7 feet tall. And so this Goliath was the name of this giant. He was even taller than the tallest basketball player that plays. And Goliath was not only a giant, he was tall and strong. And he was the great warrior for the Philistines. And one day, the people of Israel were gathered on one side of a valley, and the Philistines were gathered on the other. And Goliath, the giant, called out, "Send to me your greatest warrior, and I will fight him. And whoever wins, that is the nation who will rule." None of the Israel soldiers wanted to go out. They did not want to fight this giant. They looked at him. He was big and tall and strong. They couldn't fight him. A couple of David's brothers were in the Israelite army. So one day, David's father, Jesse, said, "David, I want you to take your brothers this food so that they can eat well. And see how they're doing out there, and then come back and report to me." So David went. And when he got to where the Israelites were, he heard Goliath calling out, "Again I tell you, send your best warrior, and I will do battle with him. And whoever wins that fight, those people will be victorious." And David heard that. And he said to his brothers and the others, "Why doesn't someone go out and fight him?" And they said, "Look at him! Look at his height! Look at how strong he is! We couldn't defeat him." But David said, "Remember who our God is. Our God will go with you. He's stronger than any giant. He will allow you to win." But nobody would go. Nobody went, boys and girls. So David said, "I'll go. I'll go." And they looked at him and said, "You go. Look, you're a boy. You're a boy. You're going to go out and fight against that big giant? You're but a boy." "I can go," David said, "because God will go with me." So Saul, the king, sent for David and said, "You're willing to go?" "I am." So Saul said, "Okay, put on my armor." Boys and girls, armor is what the soldiers in those days put on to protect them in the fight. But you know, when David tried to put that on, he couldn't wear it. He was but a boy, and this armor was too big and too heavy for him to protect him. So he said, "I can't wear that, but I don't need it. My God goes with me. He's my armor, went out carrying a sling. In a sling, boys and girls, you put the rock in it and then you twirl it around and sling it out, and that rock goes flying out, and whatever it hits, it causes damage. And David said, I will go, because my God goes with me. When I was out carrying the sheep one day, a bear came into the midst of those sheep. A bear was going to kill the sheep. But I went to face that bear. And that bear was bigger and stronger than me. But I went in courage, and God gave me victory over that bear. On another day, a lion came into the midst. A lion came to ravage the sheep and kill them. That lion was bigger and stronger than me, but I went to fight that lion, and God gave me the victory, and I killed that lion. I know that as God gave me the victory over the bear and the lion, God will give me victory now over Goliath. And so David went out to fight him. And when Goliath saw him, he couldn't believe his eyes. You're the one who's going to fight me? Boy, you're going to fight me? Well, come forward then. I'll destroy you. And Goliath came forward with his sword over his head. He was going to destroy David. But David was not afraid. God was with him. And he took a stone which he had gathered from the stream, and he put it into his sling, and he twirled around and around and around, and let that stone go. And that stone hit Goliath right in the center of the forehead. It hit him with great force, and Goliath fell over. He was dead. David was victorious because God gave him the victory. So it is with us, boys and girls. God is with us every day, protecting and watching over us. Trust him. Have a wonderful week.